Good day everyone! I am Sigrid San Miguel Tanawan from BS Ed 3 Science. So now, our topic for today is about starch function and structure. Here are the objectives. First, explain the definition of starch. Second, differentiate between amylose and amylopectin and explain their structural differences. Third, explain the function of starch in plants and animals. What is starch? Starch is a type of carbohydrate, specifically a polysaccharide. So, what is polysaccharide? Polysaccharide means it's made up of many sugar molecules linked together. The sugar that you make up starch is called as glucose. You probably heard about glucose. Glucose is the main type of sugar your body uses for energy. For example, think of a starch as a long-chain glucose molecule connected in a certain way. If you were to take a single glucose molecule and attach the more of them together, you have a starch molecule. Pure starch is a white powder that doesn't taste or smells like. Plants make it store extra glucose that they don't immediately need. And humans and animals often eat plants to get energy from starch. Next, starch structures. Alpha-glucose monosaccharide chain, or we can call it a bean, is a single sugar molecule called alpha-glucose. Think of this as your basic building blocks. They're all identical, so meaning magkakapareha sila. Next, link by glycosidic band. To connect the bits or the single band and make a chain, you need a special type of glue, for example, and so this glue is called glycosidic band. It is a chemical connection that joined one sugar bean, or the alpha-glucose. Next, form from condensation reaction. The process of connecting the beans, yung example natin kanina, it's alpha-glucose molecule. Within the special glue or yung glycosidic band is called condensation reaction. So, in this reaction, a small molecule of water or H2O is released each time two sugar beads are joined. It's like squeezing a tiny bits of water out between the beads as you connect them. So, starch chemical formula and structure. Starch is made up of glucose molecule bonded together by covalent band. These bands are strong and hold the glucose molecule together in the making of starch and a kind of storage form of sugar. So, the starch chemical formula mainly involves three elements. The carbon, which is the backbone of the sugar molecule, and the hydrogen, which is bond with the carbon. And next is oxygen, which also bond with carbon and hydrogen in the structure. We can deduce this formula, the basic chemical formula of starch. It is C6H10O5N, where N is the number of glucose molecule in the chain. There have two types of starch molecule, amylose and amylopectin. Amylose and amylopectin are two different types of structure of starch. Here how they differ. Amylose, it is form of starch, is made up of glucose molecule bonded together in a straight line or spiral shape. Imagine a long string of beads twisted in a spiral or a screw. About 20 to 30 of the starch in the plant is amylose. And next is amylopectin. This form is more complex because it's more branches. It's like the tree where the main trunk, chain or glucose, has branch coming from it. Another thing in amylopectin is make up the remaining 70 to 80% of starch in the plant. These two structures make starch useful for different purposes. So the spiral shape of amylose make it compact and easy for the plant to store, while the branch structure of amylopectin help plants to release more energy quickly when they need it. easily transported and used in respiration. The branch form of the chain have many ends, so they can be act on the enzyme simultaneously, meaning glucose monomers can be released quickly. Ito po yung isang example natin sa starch structure. So, ito po yung unang enzyme, nakita naman po natin. Nadagdagan po siya ng water. Nadagdagan po siya ng water, ng H2O. So, ito po unang enzyme natin. Ayan po. So, yung nasa baba po is kinapin lang siya nung nasa taas. So, nakita naman po natin na hati siya. Hati siya, and hanggang dito po sa baba, itong OH. Nakuha po yung OH dito po sa H2O. Yung isa pong H, ayan, which is ayan. And yung isa naman pong O, which is ayan po. And next naman po, is ito naman po yung pangalawa. Ayan po. Sa pangalawa naman po na yan, itong HO na po na to is galing din po siya sa H2O, yung isang H. And itong O naman po na ito is galing po siya dito sa O na yan.
Starch function in plants and animals. So, in plants make starch as a way to store energy. During photosynthesis, plants take in sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide, and the use of that energy to create glucose. It is a type of sugar, as I said earlier. But plants don't always need all the glucose they make right away. So, they converted some of it into starch and store it for later. The stored starch is kept in special part of the plant called amyloplas, which are like storage unit for starch. At night or during times when the plants needed energy but can make more glucose, like when there's no sunlight, it uses the starch for energy. Next, in animals. Animals don't make their own starch, but they consume plants and use the starch for energy. After eating plants, the starch is broken down into glucose in the digestive system, which the body can use for energy. So, in animals, also store glucose in the form of glycogen, which sometimes called the animal starch. Glycogen is similar to starch but is found in animals. It's stored mainly in muscle and the liver. When the body needed the energy, for example, when we execute or exercise, it breaks down glycogen into glucose and the fuel of the muscle we release.